Okay. So good morning, everybody. Fergus Dolan is my name. I work for NALA, and we're delighted to have you here this morning for our Let's Get Christmassy webinar, Intercultural Family Learning Workshop. And we're delighted to have Helen Walsh and Carmel O'Neill, the Kilkenny Adult Learning Service, and that's part of the Kilkenny and Carlow ETB. So over to you, Helen and Carmel, and all the best.
Thanks, Fergus.
Thank you, Fergus.
Hello, everyone. You're very welcome. I'm Helen, and I'm a literacy resource worker in Kilkenny, and I've been involved in family learning for a good few years. So every now and then, Fergus ropes us in.
I'm Carmel O'Neill, and I'm an adult literacy tutor in the Kilkenny Adult Education Centre, and I've also been working in family learning for the last number of years also.
So we just have a few ideas that we find work well for us. Some are very easy and some are more difficult tasks, but we'll just run through them and you can have a look and see what you think, and hopefully it'll work for you. And now the PowerPoint is stuck. Sorry.
If you click into the middle of it, Helen, yeah, you have it.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
So this is just a short plan. If Carmel might go through it there, what our plan in the morning is.
Yeah, so what to expect this morning. So we're going to get into the Christmas atmosphere. We have a little task for you to do in breakout rooms. We're going to look at the Christmas story sack. You might have heard of them before. So we're just going to run through the materials you need. Christmas story or memory tree, which we have done with the group a number of years ago in our family learning group. An intercultural Christmas tree also. So we'll run through materials needed for that. Designing your own book. Hug a Book, which is run by Lana McCarthy in the Young Ballymun. We're going to show you how we implement that with the family learning groups as well. And we're going to explain each idea. And if you have any questions or suggestions or things that have worked for you in your groups, we'd be delighted to hear. And then we'll show you the links to our resources that we use and any feedback that you might have.
And some of the activities work really well face-to-face, and others have worked remarkably well for online. So we'll have a chat about that as well.
It's actually a lovely program, but
so this is Carmel's idea.
Yeah, so I don't know whether everyone got their email from Fergus, but we asked if you would bring a toilet roll insert for this morning, because we're going to go into breakout rooms in a few minutes. And basically, there's a couple of Christmassy things you can do with toilet rolls, but I just want to see what you're going to come up with using your 5 minutes in the breakout room. So what you'll do is when you go into your rooms, everyone introduces themselves to each other, just so that we can have that little icebreaker, and then think as a group, what would you use your toilet roll for, to come up with something that you might use in your groups as a Christmassy idea. Could it be a star? Could it be a parcel? If you have the materials there, you could use them to decorate the toilet roll. If not, you don't have to. You can just give us your feedback and give us your ideas of what you would do with it without actually having to do the task itself. You can just give us a plan of what you might do. So Fergus, you're going to put everyone into breakout rooms for us, aren't you?
Yes.
Enough with that, you are.
We're going to give the 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah. Perfect. Is everyone clear with the instructions?
yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
2 people are fine.
Okay. Will I open the breakout rooms, Helen?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
Do you want to share?
Hi, my name is Rasa, and recently we provide for our patrons materials, arts and crafts bags for our patrons, materials and instructions how to make a pencil case from recycled materials. It's a paper toilet roll and some colorful paper. So it's very easy to make. You need just a paper roll, some paper, and glue. And and we provided for our community crafty bags, and the children were very happy that they had this opportunity to make this pencil case.
Gorgeous, Rasa. So you kind of, it's a pencil stand, is it? And you put the pencils in the top of that.
Yeah, you can put markers or pencils. Yeah,
That's
and you
beautiful.
can use. Thank you.
Gorgeous, Rasa.
Lovely.
Anyone else have any ideas what you could do with your toilet roll? Any other ideas
I'll
come back?
try. Card slide.
Yeah, go ahead, Rasa.
I saw actually on the YouTube, you know, that from toilet roll you can make a small box. You just you need to close it like.
I think that's the one I have done, Rasa, here.
Yeah.
It's this little gift box.
Exactly. Yeah. That's beautiful.
So what you do, you just fold in the ends. I found this really handy now to do with a family learning group, because all the parents made them with their children then. So you fold in the two ends to meet, well, you cover it with Christmas paper.
Lovely.
And then you put your sweets inside, and the children can give the little boxes to their friends or to their grandparents, and you can decorate them in different materials. So yeah, that's another idea.
Beautiful.
That actually came up in our group there, Carmel. One of the girls was saying that you don't want to do anything that's too childish for the parents, but how we overcome that is everything we do is for the parents to do with the children. That it's not art and craft, or it's not ideas for the parents, it's for them to support their children. So we overcome that way.
Yeah.
We had a there of Christmas crackers, and I can't remember what else.
Christmas crackers, snip most of it, leave half of 2, catch 2 points, put a surprise in it. So Christmas crackers, so you could pinch the ends of the toilet roll and use it as a Christmas cracker. That's a great one. A great one.
So maybe we'll keep going. I'm just conscious of the time there. We're gone.
Absolutely.
1:15. Okay. So these are just a few of the ideas of activities that we do with the parents, for the parents to support their children. Some of you might be familiar with Story Sacks. It was created by Neil Griffiths. And he's an English, well, he's a retired teacher and principal now, but this was his idea. We have a link to it at the end. He's brilliant, man. We used this book a couple of years ago. The story itself wasn't great, but the picture to use to create the prop was really, really lovely. And we just used a cardboard box, painted the scene, painted the sky scene, and then just made the houses from fabric, paper, lollipop sticks, also any fabric that we came across. And the people were just on lollipop sticks. And then we just added the €2 lights from Pennies. And it turned out lovely. We did have an extra branch there, painted branch, and we had some balls on it with the names of the countries or greetings and that. So I don't know if any of you have come across Story Sacks before. You could do activities then based on the book as well. We'll be looking at that again in a minute. And you're getting a great chance there for their digital skills, maths. We did, the distance from Ireland and the different time zones. Excuse me. Sorry, do you want to go through what you need, Carmel?
Yeah, so for this we well, you need the book first of all, and that was the inspiration then for the backdrop. And then we had our cardboard and smaller pieces of cardboard for the houses. So you'd use your cardboard background, and that was painted by one of the parents. And then each parent then could work on their own individual little house made of cardboard and covered in different textures, material, fabric. We were lucky that we got just donations of scraps or any old clothes at home, or bits and pieces that you'd find, and we used different textures for the rooftop, so like tweed and maybe leather, just little bits that we could find. And fabric shops are actually great for donating kind of ends of material as well. So we had the lollipop sticks, so they were for the little people. So there's a lot of little characters in the story, and just to make it handy, everyone made them on the lollipop sticks, and they used wool and felt and different kind of feeling fabrics for the children. So it was kind of nice for them to get involved in. Poster paints for the sky. Double-sided tape is a must. If you're doing anything like this, double-sided tape is brilliant because it works really well. It seals like a glue, so it works really well. Shiny stars we used to add to the background as well, and the battery lights, they were put, can't remember, Helen, did we put them in the background or were they on the tree?
I think we just pinned them on around the houses in different places.
Yeah, and I think the size of the houses and the fact that the lights were on, it made it lovely for the children to look at. So that we had the branches just from, we got them outside and we put them in a jar with polyfill, and that's how we made secured the branches in the jar. We had polystyrene balls which we painted like the world with the blue and the green, and as Helen said, we put the names of the countries on those as well. And they were hanging then on the tree as a display, just like a little extra bit to go along with it.
Yeah, this was a pre-COVID project, so we were all together as a group. But you could actually do this, like Raza was saying there, others were saying, you send out craft packs to families, and they could, if you gave them the book, they could create a smaller one, maybe just from a shoebox or a cereal box. It doesn't have to be a big project. And again, that can be used any time of the year. It's not just for Christmas.
Not just for Christmas, yeah. And I suppose with that as well, because they're all little individual houses, people could work on their own little house at home and get them all back together and kind of put them onto the main background. So everyone would be kind of collaborating, but from their own house if you were doing it online.
And what works well with projects when you have a bigger project like that is to have them displayed somewhere. And I know things are slightly different now, but usually the library or local bookshops or the credit union window, they're always looking for things to have on display. Maybe not for Christmas because they'll have their own stuff, but you'd be really surprised the amount of places who would be delighted to take a showpiece like that. Any questions on that one before we move on?
Do you have a photo of yours?
There's not a great photograph. Do you see it here? Christmas Village.
Oh, that's it.
It's not great because the parents were in the background. Some of them aren't with us anymore, so we didn't have the GDPR form signed, so we had to take them out. So it's not a great picture, but it's really just a cardboard box. All right.
I can show you one picture. Yesterday, I started to make in Malahide Library some arts and crafts for display, and I use a cardboard box. If you like, I can show you the box which I made it.
Okay, will we keep that for the end, Raza?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
In case I lose this presentation.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's the story sack. The next one that we did, it's a Christmas story or a memory tree. And again, it's another branch of a tree. We used a branch like the lower one there, and our group would usually be from different countries. So we could have local Irish people, or we'd have people who are now living in Kilkenny. So we took stories from around the world, how they celebrate Christmas. Food is always a great one. Maybe songs. Some of our own Kilkenny girls were struggling with ideas to come up with. So some just put in their favorite Christmas songs when they were children. And we looked up when it was written and, got some other information about it. So it turned out really well. And Carmel will go through how we made it, I think, on the next one.
Yeah, so we started off with our dry branches again and secured in a jam jar with either cement or polyfiller. And I think that this one we might have painted white. We used A4 glitter card. We were lucky enough now to have a paper cutter, and so we could cut out different shapes for our cards. We had festive ribbon and string to hang the cards onto the tree as well. So we had we got a lovely time out of this. Actually, it was a great opportunity for all the parents to share their memories, and this could be done online as well. So share, like one of the girls had a baby born on Christmas Eve, so she shared her story, and then we had different kind of traditions and customs from around the world, and all the parents were able to learn about everyone's background and culture. So it was a great opportunity for everyone to share their stories. And working with the parents, then they would dictate their story to us and we'd write it down. And if parents were comfortable typing up, they could type up on a laptop, or we would type up the stories then in work for them and print them out. And so they were displayed on A4 card, folded on the tree. And the parents then could decorate the card whatever way they wanted, with their own drawings or festive like cuttings from the paper cutter machine that we had. So that came in handy for that project as well.
This would be an easy one now to do remotely. People could research their own stories and then just take them all together. I know it's a bit of extra work for a tutor, but it could easily be done remotely. This one was actually displayed in the local church. The parish priest called into the room one morning, and when he saw what the parents were doing, he asked for it to be displayed in the church. So they loved that as well.
Yeah. It was actually a lovely opportunity for everyone to get to know each other, you know, without any pressure being put on. Everyone was just volunteering their own bit of information, and it helped for the group bonding, I'd say, as well.
And I think when we started that project to introduce it, I think we brought in old pictures of selection boxes and maybe the toy show, different things just to rekindle, or what, you know, ideas that when we had an idea of the ages of the parents, what was popular when they were children and that sort of thing. So it did lead to great discussion and great interaction. All right, any questions? You're all very quiet. Our next one, this was a much bigger project. It was the last project we did before lockdown. It was very big, Carol. It must have been.
This was about, was it 3 meters by 3 meters, the actual physical size of the Christmas tree background anyway. This was our intercultural Christmas tree. So we were lucky enough to be working together in a room in the junior school in Kilkenny. And each of the parents, they would, like, depending on what country they were from, they would work on a circle. And the idea of the circles was that they would appear like baubles on the Christmas tree. The background was jute or sacking background, and then a felt Christmas tree, and then the baubles on top. So for that, then the parents would pick their home country, or they might adopt a country, depending on how many parents and nationalities were in the school.
Yeah, the home school they were able to give us the list of nationalities in the school.
Yeah, so the baubles themselves, we were trying to add texture. That's really important, I suppose, when you're putting a big project like this together. So the different textures of materials. So we used our felt cutter, but that's not necessarily needed. We had foam and glitter letters as well, which were used there. You can see in the middle picture for the names of the countries. So we had the name of the country, we had the flag represented, and any emblem that was kind of appropriate to put on it. And we also had a little custom or tradition. Do you see there on the third picture, there's like a little card holder, and we took in a little country tradition in there. Just it was typed up and laminated and popped in there as well. So trying to get as much information as we could onto each circle, or bauble as we were calling them, and adding as much color as possible as well, because we at one point we had said maybe we'll stick with green and reds, and then when we actually went to the material shop, the lady said no, add in as much color as you can, and it really worked well for the project.
Yeah, there's a better picture of it here, isn't there?
I think that the next one, Helen.
Yeah, that's the finished product. So again, we had that one displayed, and that always goes down a treat. So you can see there how big it is. You can't see the lower parts. We had lovely gold fabric, I think, for the tree stand at the end, Carmel, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was red felt and we had a big bow on it, and we used about 200 fairy lights stuck into the hessian or the jute sacking, could be called either. So we pushed them in, and it was actually quite magical because it had that beautiful backdrop of the windows overlooking Kilkenny City.
Yeah.
And yeah, it worked really well. And then all the parents were allowed to, we had it displayed in the Medieval Mile Museum in Kilkenny. That's where that building is. And all the parents then could come back and bring their families to come and see the tree and see all the work that they'd put into it.
Yeah, this wouldn't be a project now that you could, it's probably too late now unless you had a lot of time. It took a lot of time to do the research and then to plan it out, how many baubles or circles you needed. And then even just there, keep in mind the number of letters in a country, like you might have somebody from Fiji or Afghanistan. So things like that could complicate it. I see there we had a Kilkenny one stuck in there somewhere as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is very similar to other ones, like just the name of the country, a flag, and some tradition. And as Carmen said, the colour and the texture.
Yeah. So
Um,
the dark, you had your shopping list there, the dark green felt, your hessian, Christmassy colours, velvet, different textures. I really stress that because it actually does look well when you put your project together. And then ribbon or edging for around each bauble to kind of finish them off. And we had the glitter card for the little envelopes or little placeholders for each custom. With your needles and threads, your double-sided tape. So all that was actually stuck onto the tree with double-sided tape. It was brilliant. So there was it cut down on the amount of sewing. There was glue guns were used for a while, you know, for the more tricky bits. But double-sided tape really is the way to go. And your battery lights, curtain pole. We were very lucky that in the school we have the great caretaker, he actually cut the curtain pole for us, and the museum itself hung the actual wall hanging.
The one thing we introduced there was we created a QR code, and that was the first time we had tried that with the group. So all the information that we had on the little gift tags, we put that on the QR code. So when you went in, you had your country, say South Sudan, and their tradition, and maybe the colour of their flag. So that was just a new little bit of digital skills added to it as well. Are we okay? We got funding for that. We got funding from that through, there's a Christmas festival in Kilkenny called Yule Fest. So we got some funding for that, and we were able to, we had a lovely reception. They had hot chocolate. I think we had mulled wine, did we, Carmel?
No, I think we pushed for the mulled wine, but it never happened. But yeah, we were very lucky, and I think that's part and parcel of it as well, that to be able to have a day, like a morning of celebration, and just for everyone to be appreciated for all the work they're after putting into it. And it was a great morning out for all the children came along, and the school, there was a free service in Kilkenny at the time where they do like a Christmas train around the city, and the school actually made sure that was going to happen as well for after our morning of the unveiling of the wall hanging.
For the children and for the parents attending the family learning, not the entire school.
No.
Yeah, so we're just saying there, if you're doing something like that, this you need to start, depending on the hours you have, but you need to be starting in September to get the value from it, because it's such a good project that you know you want to spend time on it. Are we okay? I think everyone's got to sleep, Carmel. This was our lifesaver when we went into lockdown in, when did we go to lockdown? The last September, October time. When we really didn't, parents hadn't devices, I suppose, pre-summertime, and then they got devices on loan from the ETB. So we were faced then with setting them up, and they all had their emails and set up on Microsoft Teams. So we discovered this free design platform called Canva. Some of you probably come across it already. No? It's really good.
No.
It's really good. There's templates there for absolutely everything. It saves all your work as you do it, so you're never going to lose anything. You can share it, you can download it, you can save it, you can print it. It's great fun. It really is good. And I just stuck in there to watch out. Some of them are premium now. When we started Carmel, everything, well, most of the stuff was free, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But a lot of it now you need to pay for it, and we haven't paid for anything. So just watch out. And that's a great one to do online. We have a few ideas here, I think, haven't we?
I think so, Helen. Yeah.
Carmel made these, Fergus.
No, I didn't. No, Helen definitely.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's rather than using Word, like it looks like you've gone to a printers and gotten something designed in the printers. So there's loads of lovely, you can add your own little features like Helen has here, snowmen and Bob.
Certainly wasn't me.
So yeah, it looks really professional compared to using Word. And then, I think a lot of, especially the young parents that we found in the family learning, that they're well able to like find their way around a phone, that this will be no bother at all to getting them to use. It's very
they were able to download their photograph or upload their photographs from Facebook and use them. We started making scrapbooks. We figured maybe, 3 or 4 pages of a scrapbook, but it just escalated and they did so much work. We ended up doing cards, gift tags, posters, calendars. Yeah, that's the calendar Carmel has in her office. Sorry about the picture, Fergus. It was the only one we could find.
No worries. There's some nice comments there on that one, Carmel and Helen. Clodagh Burke is saying easy to follow instructions and it's easier to use than Word for poster design.
Yeah, and
it definitely is, yeah, because you've got you're starting off with a lovely template and then you can just choose which colors you want to change or font. So it's actually brilliant.
And even on the calendars there, they had great fun. They were putting in birthdays and holidays and different things, so you can really personalize it. And the templates are there, so that's something you could use. You could just use it straight away if you're working online, or you could use it face to face, but it's a great one for working if you're working remotely.
Yeah, and you can have a team working together as well on it, so you can share your designs with other team members, so it allows everyone to collaborate really well together as well.
Just watch out for the premium ones, because you won't be able to download it for free if you've selected premium, but you don't need to. There's so much stuff there for free. All right. We love this. Some of you might have come across Lana McCarthy in Young Ballymud. We're always talking about her. She does great work, and this is her idea. In Ballymud, they call it Hug Your Book. There was some miscommunication and we ended up calling it Hug a Book, and now that's stuck. So we do this is ongoing. We would do Hug a Book every week, but we did a big Christmas one last year. We have another one coming up here, and it's all about reading, writing and talking with your child. So Carmel might tell you how it works.
Yeah, so Hug a Book, it's Lana's idea, but we have kind of adapted it for us in Kilkenny with our groups. So what we do is we get a book, like for example, this week now, actually last night I worked with the group online, and we I don't know whether you can see that, but I have the book Chill Skill here. So for what we do is we actually do hug the book. And when a child sees a parent hugging the book, it's automatically the child is intrigued. What's mommy doing? What's she got? And then they're sitting down to read together. So we ask questions about, what you see on the cover, what you think the book is about, who's the author, who's the illustrator. So you're really breaking it down. You're not just jumping in and reading a book. You're taking it step by step and really like absorbing every piece of the book, and you're looking at the blurb on the back, so the child is learning new words that they can then help them along in school, words that they would be introduced to in school. So we'd have pre-reading questions then, so we'd go through a list of those. Who do you think the main character is? For this one here now, we have the Jolly Christmas Postman. You'll see the questions there. What's the postman's job? Do you ever see your postman? What's the postman or lady drive or cycle. And then you're bringing in
Lots of I wonder questions as well.
yeah,
Just
lots of,
talking
yeah,
and
so
thinking.
we actually have a word wheel that we use, the who, what, where, when, why, and I wonder. So all the parents are kind of, they can be helped along using that wheel. You know, and they're, well, I often say to them, you know, by the time you get the chance to sit down with your child in the evening, you're tired, but you might need a little bit of help with kind of how we can draw out this book, how we can get more, use more language and encourage the reading. So the who, what, where, when, why, and the I wonder wheel is brilliant for just giving you a little kickstart.
Little prompts to get going.
Yeah.
We would continue it on then and look at words in the book just to expand the vocabulary, because if children don't have the words, they're not going to be able to use them. So like even the word jolly, realistically, we probably don't use it very often, do we? Would you ever say jolly? Not a lot. So what other words could you say? Or could you use instead cheerful, fun, good humored, happy, merry, jovial? And that creates discussion with the parents, and in turn then that'll create discussion with the kids. The pie one, I was laughing at that one because do we ever say apple pie in Ireland? Do we tend to say an apple tart? We don't usually say tartlet or pastry. Then you might start talking about food. Fancy was another good word there. Some books are great, that you have new words in it that we wouldn't typically use. So it's great then to find similar meanings, or you could use it to find opposite meanings, or sometimes maybe to act out the words. It's a great project. It's a great idea. We have Lana's link at the end. I think she's doing training after Christmas, online training. It's only maybe 4 hours and it's really, really well worth it. It's a great program.
Actually, funnily enough, one Christmas we used snowman, and it had no words at all in the book, and that was actually brilliant because you know, the parents were then kind of talking about what they thought was happening in the story, and you know, using their own language, and you know, it brought up plenty of discussion around what was going on in each page. This
is probably one of the best projects through lockdown that we've been using, that we've been online using this since, oh God, since the beginning, since the parents got devices. And we do a book a week, but then we expanded it and now it's a book every other week. So they just build on more work. You might make connections. We'd be trying to link it into Ashter, maybe to do a little bit of role play. So what jobs would you come from that? The postman or the different people, the different characters in the book. So it's just all about expanding it and getting more from it. So the parents would get their book and their pack with their questions and their activities, and we'd maybe have some jokes or colouring or drawing activities as well. So for the parents in the school that we work with, the home school, they usually deliver the packs to the children to take them home, or others we post them out, or parents from other schools pick them up at our centre. And that's completely online. Anything else on that, Carmel?
I think that's it really. Kind of normally on that then, say if we were doing a class, there's one class, a beginning class, that gets a book every week, but then kind of for the second year then we would draw it out for 2 weeks. So we'd get the group would get a book on the first week, and the second week then we'd look at connections to do with the book, and then we might play a Kahoot game or something like that, or have quizzes and things like that. So it just keeps everything kind of fun, and I suppose the whole idea behind Hug Book is to make it fun and exciting, because you want to spark that interest in reading for the child.
So we gauge it. We would have different groups. We have one group now, and they're mostly Syrian refugee mothers, and their level of English would be very low. So they work really well together. Other groups then, we're working with the traveller group. We're not online with them. We're face to face with them, and they love them. So we gauge the book depending on the level of literacy of the parents as well, and the ages of the children. I'm stuck on this one. I don't think there's anything else on that one. It's great. We have Lana's link here at the end for you.
Yeah, there's so many amazing books there.
Oh, sorry, I've gone too far. These were just a few more ideas that Carmel had for you.
Well, we found that, well, getting crafty, making Christmas cards, that's always a wonderful one, you know, that, you know, you buy the blank cards and then you can, I think they're in short supply at the moment in a lot of the craft shops, but you can usually get, you could cut from old Christmas cards, or you can buy kind of pads of layering Christmas icons, and you can layer up kind of snowmen or Santa Claus, and the parents then can write, or the learner can write the cards, and so you're bringing in the literacy, and you can even break that down into making instructions. How am I going to put this card together? What are the steps?
That's actually the activity that we did on the Jolly Christmas Postman, that they wrote a card and delivered it to somebody, to an older person or somebody on their own.
Yeah, and then the making connections. So, you know, you're trying to, especially for kind of say, for we have the Hug a Book group that's in its second year, and we're drawing out the book, so for over 2 weeks, so we're making connections about, you know, who's your post person, kind of what mode of transport would they use, how does the mail get distributed throughout Ireland. So you're drawing it out all the time. You're going a bit more in depth into local stories or any connections that the parents and children can make. Helen, you had that idea of delivering the cards to a group of senior citizens or a shelter.
Yeah, I think they did that. We did that with the Jolly Christmas Postman, and it was just a nice idea.
And there's one of Helen's jokes then. What's the best Christmas present in the world? A broken drum, you just can't beat it.
They actually love the jokes, and sometimes the sillier they are, the parents really enjoy them. And we have to keep reminding them it's for the children, it's not for you.
I like that one.
When things were better, we haven't been baking now in a long time, but that's always a great one too, when things are more normal. But sometimes we might just put in a little recipe. I think the little snowman there with the marshmallows, that was the recipe that was in one of the Christmas packs last year. So it's just your chocolate chip cookie and your marshmallows held together with the cocktail stick.
And then we kind of encourage parents then that if they do make a craft item or make something out of one of the recipes, that they post the pictures up. We're on Microsoft Teams, so it just kind of keeps the group connected then for the times that you're not online together, that, you know, everyone's still connected, and that has helped as well.
Yeah, it really has. That's very popular. And then as the groups are more familiar with each other, there's usually a little bit of teasing and comments on our different abilities. The acrostic poems are always great fun as well, at any time of the year, not just for Christmas. Oh yeah, this is just a little bit about Hug a Book there. We have Lana's details on the next one. So do the training with Young Ballymund. Have a look at the balanced literacy framework. It's all about the reading, the writing, and the talking. Select a book. So each family has to have a book. And then you create your resources, the reading, the writing, and the talking ideas, and deliver it either face-to-face or online. And as Lana says, don't just read it, you've got to give it all you've got. And she's very animated.
There's a nice comment there, Helen, from Clodagh Burke, saying last year they asked the children to design a Christmas tree poem and put them up on the library windows. We gave them the Christmas tree templates, and they write the poem and decorate the white parts of the page.
Oh, lovely. Isn't that very
idea?
Christmas tree memories? Like, sometimes you just have to change the template and you're doing the same thing, really. So it's a lovely idea.
Great idea. Yeah.
We did some training probably over a year ago now with Miriam O'Donoghue. We have her details at the end as well here. She did Zoomagizers. Have any of you come across her, I wonder?
No.
She's just brilliant. She does the Lego 6-brick as well, but we had her first for Zoomagizers, and she was just brilliant. Just so many simple activities that we've used over and over again. when we were online. So Carol might like to go through them.
Yeah, so we find these great for kind of if you are working online and your class is maybe an hour and a half online and you want to break it up a little bit. So these Zoomagizers work really well for just keeping the tempo up in the room and keeping everyone involved. So I think last year in one of our groups, I think it was our Christmas Hug-a-Book special, or we had a bonanza for Christmas. We got as many parents as we could join online and read the book together. And we got everyone to turn off their cameras for 3 minutes and go and dress up as a Christmas tree. And then everyone turns their cameras back on and everyone's all dressed up. So that's a bit of fun and, you know, something a bit different. Alternative uses for your Santa hat, and everyone types their answers into the chat box then. So it's just keeping things kind of active when you're online and keeping everyone involved.
And you send together. So they
Helen?
all comes up just really quickly, one after another.
Yeah, so you tell everyone to send their answers all at once, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Helen, you love the next one there, the melting snowman.
Yeah, but I'm not as good. My knees aren't as good anymore. So when I melt to the floor, it's very hard to get up. That's great fun too. A lot of the time last year we had the children on with the parents when they were off school, and the children loved these activities. But again, we'd be doing them with the parents and say, try these out on the children, and they do, they love it. The Christmas dash, that's a great idea as well, and that can be any time of the year as well. How many red or green things can you hold in one hand, so you run around your kitchen or your office or wherever you are, and try to do that. Read a Christmas joke, or again, that can be any time of the year. In the chat, thumbs up or down for good or bad. So just little, as Carmel said, just things to break the monotony of being online all the time.
Helen and Carmel, there's a question from Coleman Ross. He's saying, do traveller parents in Kilkenny prefer face-to-face? We can see from County Clare that is the case with the outdoor activities.
Yeah, no, they're face-to-face, Coleman. We're going to try them at Christmas for one morning online, but the tutor will be with them, so they'll be in their centre. So I think we're trying that on the 13th or 14th of December. We're just going to try it and see how it goes, because we'll have all the groups together online. But no, definitely they want to be face-to-face. So we're doing that at the moment with the traveller parents. But everyone else for Hug-a-Book is online. Oh, are we going to do this? Are we out of time?
No, you still 10 minutes at least.
Okay, I'll show you the links first and then we'll go back to this one. So they're just the links. Fergus, you'll have these up on something, won't you?
I can send this presentation to everybody afterwards and they get the link at the end then. Is that right?
So that's Lana McCarthy's details there in Young Ballymon, and a little bit about Hug-a-Book. Mary O'Donoghue for the Zoomagizers and Neil Griffiths for the Story Sacks. They're the three ideas that we've sort of changed around a little bit and made our own, and they're working really, really well. And all three of those facilitators, Lana, Miriam, or Neil, they're super. We had Neil Griffiths in Kilkenny a few years ago. It was a joint project between the library, Kilkenny Childcare, ourselves, and the local school. So he spent 2 days and he worked with parents and children. So it was really, really good. Whoops. Sorry, now I'm going back. So Carmel has another activity, or do you want us to have a look at the questions first?
I can't see any other questions at the minute, so you might as well, if anyone has questions, they can type them in.
One other thing that came up there when we were in the breakout rooms, and one of the whole school, I can't remember your name. She was saying about getting ideas for her to roll out a craft project with the parents. Just for homeschools, I suppose, to be aware that the ETB have funding for family learning. They have tutors trained to work with adults, and either in your adult learning centre, your literacy centre, or your community ed, I would chase after them and get your tutors there.
Okay. Yeah, well, I go ahead. We're just going to put you in the shoes of the learners when they're online. So we're going to do a Christmas dash now. So we're going to I want you to go off for 3 minutes and find items beginning with CHRISTMAS. Okay, and I'm going to put on a timer, and you can run around your office or wherever you are if you're at home and just try and find the items, as many as you can, beginning with those letters.
We did this the day Trump was when he finished his term of office. We were online one morning, and there was a young lad, a young father on, and he said, "I can't find anything with you. We just tear UMP up." And then one of the women said, "Your underpants, Chris." You get great fun from it.
So the timer has started there. Off you go.
3
3
minutes.
minutes.
You can turn off your camera if you want while this is
Yeah,
on.
if you want, yeah.
Sorry, what the letters? Could you please repeat?
So they're on the screen there. So it's Christmas, CHRIST.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Fergus has a prize for whoever has the best one. He didn't deny it, so
Prize is a free copy of the presentation. I've got a few things. I'm getting more. Okay, let me see.
So you have 2 minutes left. Harder than you'd think.
can be anything.
Are you doing it, Helen?
No, Carmel, I have a sore throat. I actually planned to have it ready before I was going to cheat, and then I forgot. Somebody's asking Sarah about if somebody is dyslexic, can you choose a font that's dyslexic friendly on Canva, Clodagh? Is that what you mean? It is
I
probably
think it was
running,
Canva, yeah.
and I'm not actually sure, to be honest.
I'm done.
Oh, great.
Good.
So we've got, let's just check the timer. We
So I'm
have,
going to stop sharing, and then we'll get a better.
yeah, put everyone in gallery mode or something. So we have 45 seconds.
Who's finished? Orla, is it?
Susan.
Susan.
I'm finished. Oh, do we have to type them in? We have to type them in, do we?
Have to show us.
We'll
No,
get
okay.
you to show us.
Joe and
Yeah, I have
Helen.
them here. I'm finished as well.
Who wants to share?
We've
Me.
20 seconds left, just to let you know, anyone who's still out looking.
I can share. I don't mind sharing either.
I don't either.
You're
Yeah.
dying to show them, aren't you? Oh, somebody has no camera. You'll have to write to Santa.
That's me. I had no microphone a while ago, so. But I have a Christmas coffee cup. That's about it.
Is Rosemary going to share, is she?
Yeah, I can share. So for C, I had a cup,
Lovely.
and for H, I had a hat,
Very good.
and then R, roll of sellotape. I hope I get away with that. Roll of sellotape.
Let you away with that, Rosemary.
I, the ink and the pen for I, S, stapler, T, K,
Oh, very good.
S,
Lovely.
T, M, sorry, M, what do I have for M? Matches, sorry, matches. And then
Close
A,
thing.
I have an atlas, and S, I have stickers.
Oh, lovely.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's great.
I had to run into another classroom.
So people think you're mad when they see you doing it.
Thought I was mad.
Anyone else like to share before our time is up?
I'll go if you want.
Perfect.
Great,
Susan.
Susan.
So I have candle, C for candle, H for hairbrush, R red, a red marker. I, an ink pad. S, sunglasses. T, a teddy.
Lovely.
M, a mug.
Oh,
A, an apple scented candle.
Oh, very good.
And S, who else would have it except a teacher? Lily Kelly, straps. S for
Oh,
straps.
yeah. Fantastic, Susan. Brilliant.
So how did you find it?
Good, that was exciting, yeah. They'd love that. I'd say the parents would like that.
It's a great, it's just a great energizer to get people moving. And you know, sometimes things can become a little bit monotonous when you're online. And you'll always get somebody then coming up with something really silly. Other times we've used it and just go to find everything that's green or everything that you can eat, or, you know, that you can change it, whatever theme you'd like.
Yeah, and you can adapt it to any subject you're on or any type of book, you know, that you're reading. So kind of
And you can
keyword.
encourage them then to use it, parents to use it with the children. So I think we're spot on time, are we, Fergus?
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to say thanks so much. Carmel and Helen are always so generous with sharing all their ideas, their information. They really are. Anytime I call them to ask about workshops or webinars or anything, they always say, yeah, we'll do something for you. And they always come up with something innovative and different. So
Because we love
thanks
it.
so much. As always, it was great. I love the Hug a Book stuff and the intercultural Christmas tree. It just looked brilliant, a brilliant
Yeah.
idea. And
The first
Canvas.
intercultural project we did, it was just wall hanging. So it was actually almost the same information, except the wall hanging where there were, I think we had that at an
I
hour.
saw that, yeah.
So sometimes you're just recreating the same thing and just doing it differently. Like somebody said about the Christmas tree templates. We'll probably steal that one next year.
So listen,
Absolute pleasure. Thanks a million, lads.
great.
thank you.
you.
And
Anything.
thanks everyone for tuning in. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. All the best. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
Thanks, Fergus.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.